So hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm just going to talk through a few things that we're going to do over the Halloween half term. So if you think that's something that you'd be interested in listening to, then keep watching. So first things first, hopefully you can see the background. This is the panelling project that I was working on recently. I'm so proud of it. I did it all by myself. I've never done anything like this before and I'm so chuffed with it. I feel like this whole space now just looks so much better. Should have lit those candles, shouldn't I, for a bit of ambiance? Shall we do that? I'm going to do that 1 second. I think that looks a little bit better, doesn't it? I like having another area to film. I just need to work out the angles a bit because this door is not, the space here is not giving. But yeah, with this video, it's just a few things that I'm planning on doing with the kids over half term. We're lucky that Halloween falls throughout it, so it kind of makes it a little bit easier. But these are just ideas. It's not you have to do this or you should be doing this. It's just a fun video, and I thought I would share it because I find stuff like this really interesting. This isn't to put any pressure on you. You're a fabulous parent, and whatever your traditions are, rock. End of. So first thing, I did mention that I was going to do like a little boo bag for each of my children. This kind of started with Easter when Bill was a baby, because I think that's kind of when a lot of these little traditions began. And the reason why I started it back then is because when he was a baby, I wanted to be able to give him things for like Easter, but obviously, understandably, I didn't want to give him a load of chocolate eggs at the age of like, well, I mean, I think his first Easter, he was only a few months old or a month old or something like that. But like, you know, when he was 1 or 2, I didn't want him having loads of eggs because obviously like family members would get him things too. So I started getting those little bits and bobs that you can get from Home Bargains, like the bubbles with a rabbit or a little chick on top and like a little cuddly toy and that kind of thing, or a craft activity, and it kind of evolved from there. And then with Halloween, obviously the boo basket trend has been around for a few years, but I did start doing a little bit for the kids over that sort of hard lockdown COVID period, because we weren't able to do a lot of the things that we would normally do. And I think a lot of us as parents were just scrambling around for ways of keeping the fun and the magic alive in the midst of a pandemic. So I would start doing things then. I remember doing a Halloween treasure hunt around the house, which is actually a great idea. If you've never done it, right, you just get a few trick-or-treaty sweets and you write some clues and you turn all the lights off in the house and make it look spooky. So if you've got like some LED candles, put them all in your pumpkins and things like that. Put like low lighting on, like these or whatever, and you leave clues around the house. You can play like spooky music in the background and the kids have got to run around. I gave them all like a little torch at the time, I think, and it was maybe a little Halloween themed one, and they ran around the house and they were looking for these clues, and every new clue they would get a sweet each and they would have a trick-or-treat bucket for that. And then I think as well I threw in a few things like transfer tattoos, or like a little like, I don't know, spinny toy or something along those lines. I think one of them was like a tiny Halloween teddy. This was a few years ago, so obviously my 12-year-old is not going to be excited about a tiny Halloween teddy or a transfer tattoo. But that is one thing that is a fab thing to do with your kids. I might even bring it back this year, you know, just for a bit of fun. But that's kind of where that started. And I don't want to do a boo basket where I'm buying my children Uggs or Stanley Cups or this, that and the other. Not only is it so expensive, but I don't want Halloween to become something where there's an expectation of getting gifts. Christmas is so close. What I want it to be is fun. I want it to be a bit spooky, and I want us all to have a good time. So with that in mind, they do have a small boo bag. When I show you these, I mean that they are small, they're not big, they're the size of my head, and the contents are not at all expensive. But it's a nice little thing. They don't know they're getting them, so then they don't even expect them, to be honest. But I'm going to leave them out for when they come home from school on Friday, which is tomorrow, and it's just something that I've chosen to do for them this year. So I'll run through each of them just so you get an idea of what's in there. They're all very similar contents, but just a bit more reflective of their age. So this one's Stanley's. So in here I have some spooky Halloween temporary tattoos. They were £1.29 and they were from Card Factory, I think. Now Daisy and Stanley will still find these amusing, so I did pick them up for them. I bought them some monster jellies. These are from, I think, B&M. I got these a while ago, but I used to love these sweets. Remember the under the sea ones that you used to get? So I've got them then. And the idea with these is that like it kind of introduces like the half-term holidays to them, so that starts for them as of tomorrow evening. So it also separates any goodies like this from the Halloween day itself, which is obviously in another week. Next up I have a pumpkin mask. This was from, I think this is Home Bargains, a little Halloween pumpkin one. It's mango scented and they love stuff like this because it makes them look funny, and I do them all a nice bubble bath where they can just relax and chill, and I think it's a good way of encouraging them to get clean, but B, it's also a nice way of encouraging them to just take it slow and chill. And I got them a little bath bomb. This was from Home Bargains as well, and this has a little light up toy inside, and they're quite cute and the sort of thing that my kids will love. And yeah, I'm not sure on the scent of this, but they've had them many a time over the years and absolutely love them. Next up is this. There's two things here actually, and I've got a little cup. I got these from Hobbycraft. I think they were like £1 or something, but they glow in the dark as well. And what I like about these is I can bring them out every year. And then to go in that, I picked up one of the Oreo Coca-Cola zero sugar flavour things, because these are very Beetlejuice-esque in my head, and I thought they would just be perfect, so I put that in there like that, and that's a little like treat for them. I got Daisy and Stanley one of these each. These were from the Card Factory. And what is great about these is that you can take them trick-or-treating with you, and they act as like a light source to make people aware of you and your children, because not all Halloween costumes are brightly lit. A lot of them are quite dark, aren't they? So I like having something like this, because then people can see that we're walking along the road or we're crossing the road, because it can get quite dark at this time of year. So I picked up that from Card Factory as well. I got them each a little mallow lolly from Aldi. They had a few different ones. I'll show you the other types in a minute. I got them each a hot chocolate bomb from Aldi, and the idea is that they are going to have, I'll make them all a hot chocolate with this. I have some spooky marshmallows as well that I picked up from Aldi, so one night we can do that and like watch a scary movie or something like that. So they've got one of these. They're not all for like Friday night, like you have to do it. And then I think the only other things I put in here, because I didn't want it to be too treat heavy with the fact that they'll be trick-or-treating and it's that time of year, I put a bone breaker, which is basically it's a skeleton sweets inside, and you have to put him back together again and then you eat him. But I found those at the Co-op, and they're from a brand called the Candy Factory, so I just thought they were cute and a little bit different. And then finally I had a pack of popping candy, which I got from Home Bargains, and I'm saving some of these for our trick-or-treat jar, but I just took one of each flavour. One's strawberry, one's apple, and they've gone in there as well, so that stands, which is very lovely. And then I'll do Daisy's next, because hers is basically the same, but there are just a few like differences based on the fact that there are like different sort of colourways and stuff like that. So her bone breaker, she's got like the purple one, and her mask is, where's your mask, Daisy? Daisy's got a bit of a cat theme going on, so she's got a cat mask, again from Home Bargains, the cat lolly, which is from Aldi. She has the witch chocolate bomb. The only one I could find was a little bit damaged. I hope she didn't mind. I don't think she will. And then also, instead of a pumpkin one, hers is a little ghost, and it's purple. So hers is kind of more purple and cat themed, and obviously she's got all the other goodies in there as well. Just about to run out of battery, so I'm just going to change you over 1 second. I'm back again, but for Bill I have just slightly different really, because there are some things that I just don't think that he will use. So he has all of the main components, but his is a skull. That was a skeleton lolly. He's got the same hot chocolate bomb. His mask is a skull again. I tried to match them up because I thought it would just like give it a cool theme. He also has one of these, and his is green. And then instead of tattoos and a light up thing, I am gonna give him, I got him some Pokemon cards. It's really funny. Him and one of his mates, like, they have got back into them from like a nostalgia perspective, and they like play Pokemon Go and stuff for fun, and he's been like buying them on the off chance. Sometimes this keeps my cat in the background. He's trying to make it very Halloween themed for you, but yeah, he's just got back into them. It was like, it just reminds me of being little again, so I've been buying them. I'm like, fair enough. So I got him the Paradox Rift ones, and then I think what I will also do with him, because the younger two have got like the spinny thing and stuff, I might just put a little bit of extra money on his Go Henry card as like a little, you know, go out with your mates over the holidays and spend it that way. Like maybe like only a few quid or so, but you know, he gets spends every week anyway, but I just thought it would be something nice. So that's what I've got for them, and I think that's just going to make them feel excited when they come home from school tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to spending the week with them, I've got to say. Now obviously the next thing, a really popular one, pumpkins. First thing I'm going to say, don't forget to grab one of these while you can. We save ours every year, so we do have a couple of sets, but one of the knives, yeah, one of the knives bent last year and wasn't working very well, so I did replace it with a new set. I do find that you can probably get like a couple of years use out of them before the knife starts to go a bit dodgy, but we always save them. So we do have some others already, but I did pick another one up. You can find them at most supermarkets. They're usually around £1, and they're very useful to have. So definitely grab one of them, because there's nothing worse when you come to do it and you're like, oh my god, what are we going to use? Because I personally am comfortable and confident with my children using these under my supervision, obviously more so than say knives or anything else. Now we do have a pumpkin patch booked. I've been going to the pumpkin patch with my kids ever since Daisy was a baby, I think. It's the first time we went. There were a couple near us. One's called Kenyon Hall and one is called Libby's Patch. We've been to both, and you do have to book, but you still may be able to get lucky and get in there, particularly with Libby's Patch if you're around more, so my way. But I want to stress, like, we have a really nice time, of course we do. The kids find it really fun. It gets us outside. We usually have a hot chocolate or something whilst we're there, and it just makes a day a little bit like nicer. But I also will stress, you don't need to do that. You could equally get the kids all bundled up, get them in the car, drive to your favourite supermarket. Everyone gets to pick out whatever pumpkin that they want. So this is just one from Tesco, and you can do the exact same thing, which is come home, carve it together and watch a spooky movie with some spooky food and some sweets. I want to stress that. Also, if you've never been to a pumpkin patch and you would like to, they are a brilliant experience. I personally really love them. I love the opportunity to capture some photos of my children whilst they're growing up, and it is a fun activity, but you don't have to do it. Did I do it when I was a kid? Did a buggery. I went to, in fact, I don't even think I chose my pumpkin. My mum and dad probably brought some home and then we cut them, and that's what we did, and it was fun, and that's okay. Just kick the stool that you're balancing on. So we will be doing that. We've got that booked in for this Saturday. The reason why I chose to do it at like this late on in October is that I find that pumpkins go manky quite quickly once you've cut them, and didn't really like the idea of having like mouldy pumpkins around the house. Plus it means that they are all ready for Halloween, and we can like put them outside and stuff. One thing I will add is make sure you get some of these, the LED tea lights, because obviously you can get normal tea lights and they're cheaper, but the risk of flame is something that I don't like to mess with, and these are great and you can reuse them. I got them from Hobbycraft, which are really like inexpensive, and you can probably get them from places like Amazon as well, but do have a look around and make sure you get a bargain, because you don't want to be spending too much on stuff like this. So definitely pick those up as well, and it just means you can have them lit in the house as well with no concern, or like if trick-or-treaters are walking past your pumpkin, it doesn't mean that they're like, you know, at risk of their costumes catching or anything like that. So we will be doing that on Saturday, and then part of what I'm doing for them for that day is that I'm going to do a charcuterie board for the kids. And I will definitely film this, but if you want to see it, it will be on Saturday night and it will go up on my Instagram most likely. But it's going to be a bit gruesome, but my kids all love it, so you'll have to decide on what your kids' level of like scary and acceptable is. But basically, I bought a skull decoration from Home Bargains, I think it was. He was only like £2 or so, and I'm going to give him a good scrub, and then I'm going to lay pieces of like Parma or Serrano or prosciutto ham like over his face, so he's going to look like he's, you know, like a dead thing, obviously. And then I kept 2 chocolate eyeballs that I picked up from Aldi. I've put 2 aside. I've actually put 3 aside so there's no fighting. I'll just tuck the other one in somewhere. So I'm going to stick those in the sockets. And then I bought crackers. I bought other like cured meats. We've got olives, like cheeses. I'm going to cut the cheeses into spooky shapes. Just little nibbles for them. And that's what I'm going to do for their dinner that evening after we come back from the pumpkin patch. And then we'll do the pumpkin patch. We'll carve the pumpkins. Normally we'll put our Halloween decorations out. So at the moment we've got like autumn decorations out, but I will do the Halloween ones with them that day, and then they can have their charcuterie board and watch a spooky movie, and it just makes it fun for them. Like, I'm going to feed them anyway, why not make it themed? So that's something that we're going to do. Another thing we're going to do is make some air dried clay ghosts. So this is white air drying clay that I got from Hobbycraft. I've only got 1 kilo of it. It was really inexpensive. I got some tools that we can share, but you can also use Play-Doh tools. We have a lot of Play-Doh tools that I'm going to bring out for this as well, but I got these mainly because they were like kind of fit for purpose, and I thought I could have a go with them too. And we're all going to sit down. I've got a little rolling pin as well, and we're going to roll out the dough, and we're going to make our own little ghost statues, cut holes in for the eyes and the mouth, and we're going to leave them to dry. And then when they're finished, we've got those little LED lights. I've got 2 packs of those, so I've got 8 in total, and we're going to put a little light underneath each of them, and then they can be decorations that we bring out every year that we made together. And I'm going to get the kids to, like, on the underside just initial them, and I might even like write the date or something in a Sharpie once they're dried, just as a memory for me really, and then maybe one day they can take them with them on the rest of their adventures through life. But I thought it would be a really fun activity. It was really inexpensive to get this, like hardly anything at all, and I'm going to do that with them one day in the holidays before Halloween itself. I might do it maybe on like Monday or something, so they've got enough chance to dry. Other things we're doing, obviously we're doing trick-or-treating. Normally I will do a party, but Bill's having a sleepover at one of his mates' houses this year because it does fall, excuse my cat. He's really talkative and he just keeps like shouting at me. Yeah, he's having a sleepover at one of his mates' houses this year, and his mates are kind of at that stage where they, you know, parties like that aren't really cool anymore. So that's what he's doing. So with the little two, we actually have some friends that live on the same estate with us that, like, really good friends of ours. So we'll probably walk around. Hello, you've been, hi. He's so chatty. I have to scratch his head, sorry. But we normally trick-or-treat with them just because they're like so local to us and it's fun to do it with friends. So I might do just some more Halloween food on that night and invite them around a bit earlier just to make more fun out of it, basically, because why wouldn't you? We are really looking forward to that, actually. The kids have all got the costumes ready. Daisy's going as Wednesday, Stan's a glow-in-the-dark skeleton, and Bill has basically got a costume that makes him look like the Grim Reaper, complete with bright red glowing eyes. He showed it me last night and it was horrific, but he's happy. And yeah, that's the plan. Then over the weekend we've got bonfire activities with friends. We've got a 50th birthday, and then before I know it, the kids are going to be back at school again. So there are going to be a few days during the middle of the week where we just keep it chill, like we're going to watch and take advantage of all of the scary movies on like Disney Plus, Netflix, things like that. We're going to do a lot of like cuddly walks together. We're going to do some dog walks, get out in the fresh air, kick some leaves, find some conkers, that kind of thing. And we're just going to enjoy some time together. And I will have time where I'll be working, and I will have time where I'm going to have to say, hang on a sec, or I will have time where I'm going to have to rely on things like the telly or their tablets or something, but that is also really normal too. But that's what we're doing. I hope you found this interesting and useful, and yeah, I cannot wait to have a little spooky week with my 3, and I hope you guys have got some lovely plans in store as well. But have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you all very soon.